It's been a gray and rainy day here in the Midlands, and you want to get used to it. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Josh Berry.
And I'm Rochelle Dean. Thank you for joining us for ABC Columbia News at 11. Yeah, that rain not going anywhere anytime soon. Let's turn things straight over to the Weather Center for Chief Meteorologist John Farley, who has more on how long we can expect to see these wet conditions. John, how are things looking?
Well, look outside. You can see there's some fog in the background behind the State House, and the temperature's mid-60s or so. But notice this, the humidity at 93%. And by the way, that's low for the Midlands. Many places in the Midlands higher than that. So fog is going to settle in once again tonight. So getting going tomorrow, expect that. And with it, some off and on generally light showers. There are the showers here. They've wound down some. I mean, they're not quite as intense as they were. However, I'll show you, the moisture continued to stream in here from the Gulf. So expect on and off showers right through the day once again tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, this is how it looks. Getting the kids out the door, have the umbrella because there'll be some fog and some light showers. Again, accumulating rain, not a ton, but enough to need the umbrella. Here's a look at the rest of the day here. Notice the temperatures continuing to, top out about the mid-70s or so. And then tomorrow evening, we might even get a thunderstorm thrown in as well. The main event in terms of thunderstorms, though, that comes in Halloween in the range of trick-or-treating time. I'll update you on that coming up in just a bit.
There's big news in the world of college sports today. The NCAA Board of Governors broke with the long-held tradition of forbidding student athletes from earning income today by voting to allow the ability for those athletes to profit from their names, images, and likenesses. Here's ABC's Trevor Ault with the latest.
It's an opening move that could lead to a colossal shift in college athletics. In a unanimous vote Tuesday, the NCAA's Board of Governors agreeing to consider allowing athletes to cash in on their fame and make money off their name, image, and likeness.
What this is the NCAA saying you are allowed to go hire agents to get endorsement deals. If people want to use your name and likeness or your image on certain products or something like that, you can hire an agent and do that. Now, previously, if you did that, you lose your eligibility. Now you won't.
The decision comes a month after California passed the Fair Play to Pay Act, a bill allowing student athletes to get paid for the use of their likeness, with other states expected to soon follow suit. California's governor signing the bill alongside superstar athlete LeBron James, who's long advocated for the payment of college athletes. In response to today's news, James tweeting, "It's a beautiful day for all college athletes going forward from this day on." The NCAA's board framed the vote as part of an effort to support college athletes, but the language specifies payment for an athlete's likeness would need to be done in a manner consistent with the collegiate model.
We have to come up with something that's achievable, something that's enforceable, something that's transparent, has the right guardrails around it.
The decision hasn't been met with unanimous approval. North Carolina Senator Richard Burr immediately threatened to tax the athletes who cash in, tweeting, "If college athletes are going to make money off their likenesses while in school, their scholarship should be treated like income."
One change the NCAA is not considering are salaries for their athletes at any level, continuing to insist on that distinction between amateur and professional athletics. Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
Now, after today's announcement, the University of South Carolina Athletic Director Ray Tanner released a statement saying, "President Caslen and I talked following the NCAA Board of Governors announcement, and the University of South Carolina looks forward to joining with the Southeastern Conference and NCAA Division I to determine how to implement name, image, and likeness benefits for our student athletes. The university has a track record of offering services and opportunities to its student athletes." A cybersecurity breach may have leaked some Prisma Health Midlands patient and volunteer information. Officials say a team member's login credentials were compromised and gave access to pre-registration and volunteer registration information forms completed on the Palmetto Health website. As part of its statement, the hospital said, in an abundance of caution, Prisma Health is attempting to notify by letter at the last known address the individuals who may have been affected by this incident.
South Carolina lawmakers are discussing a bill that could make it illegal for people to hold their cell phone in their hands while behind the wheel. The South Carolina Hands-Free Act would make it possible for someone to be fined $100 if they're caught using their phone while driving, and $300 for any subsequent violation. If the bill is signed into law, South Carolina would join 20 other states, including Georgia, in having similar legislation on the books. Some say having a hands-free law would help the state have fewer fatalities on the roads.
Legislation like this will make a difference in the state.
Bullying supposed to be a two-shot?
Will help us drive down these fatality numbers, coupled with education, awareness, and certainly enforcement. I believe that those elements all working together can help make a difference for us in our state.
The subcommittee will meet again to vote on the bill before it goes to the full Senate Transportation Committee. October is National Bullying Awareness and Prevention Month, and in honor of that, today students took to the State House to spread a message against bullying. Students with W.A. Perry Middle School came out with posters and messages against bullying. 3 different groups of students from the school worked on posters and rallied at the State House, including the Girl Scouts, the Boys to Gents, and the Bully Busters Club, all joined together speaking out against bullying.
It makes me very happy to see them taking a position against bullying and other issues, letting their voice be heard.
The posters the students made will now be displayed at the middle school to send a message to all of the students.
Only on ABC Columbia tonight, Amy O'Rourke, the wife of presidential hopeful Beto O'Rourke, made her first solo trip to the Palmetto State to meet with voters and talk about a number of issues. During her stop in Columbia today, our Alexis Frazier sat down with the candidate's wife to hear their plans.
Amy O'Rourke's first visit to South Carolina was fueled by her husband, Democratic presidential hopeful Beto O'Rourke's past visits.
Every time he calls me with the great people he's met, the great food, and so I felt like it was time to come see it for myself.
During Amy's 3-day visit, she went to Charleston and Columbia. We caught up with her at their volunteer phone bank, which was made up of USC and Benedict College students.
Go everywhere, talk to everyone, don't write anybody off, because there's so much you can learn by bringing them in.
With South Carolina being in the first of the state primaries, Amy reiterated her husband's message on gun reform during her visit. The topic is a centerpiece of Beto's campaign. He got some pushback over his mandatory gun buyback program from other candidates in the race, like South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
You just made it clear that you don't know how this is actually going to take weapons off the streets. If you can develop the plan further, I think we can have a debate about it, but we can't wait. People are dying in the streets right now. We can't wait for universal background checks that we finally have a shot to actually get through.
But his wife says that her husband's message is very clear.
We are showing up for everyone and going to be really honest about what we believe in. Honest, direct, unafraid to call it like it is, which sometimes can be politically challenging, but really make sure that you're having the important conversations that need to be had in this country to be able to truly address the issues.
In Columbia, Alexis Frazier, ABC, Columbia News.
Thank you, Alexis. A federal judge has blocked Alabama's controversial abortion bill. The legislation was slated to take effect November 15th and would have almost made all abortions in the state illegal, including cases of rape and incest. The bill also specified that doctors who performed illegal abortions could be sentenced to life in prison. Conservative lawmakers admitted before the bill was passed they knew it would be blocked and intended to eventually challenge Roe v. Wade in the Supreme Court. Alabama was one of many states to pass restrictive abortion laws earlier this year. Today, on the 1-year anniversary of the Lion Air crash involving a Boeing 737 MAX jet, Boeing CEO Dennis Muilenburg testified to Congress that the company is working to prevent future accidents and make the industry safer. Testimony that he made today, Muilenburg apologized to the family members of the victims who were also inside that hearing.
We can and must do better. We've been challenged and changed by these accidents. We've made mistakes, and we got some things wrong. We're improving, and we're learning, and we're continuing to learn.
In the past year, 2 deadly crashes of the 737 MAX killed 346 people, forcing airlines to ground the plane. The grounding has been extended through the end of the year due to continuous problems with the planes.
General Motors says the 6-week workers' strike cost about $2.9 billion. Nearly 50,000 workers were holding out, demanding better pay and benefits. GM wasn't able to build any cars at American factories during the strike, and it caused production to idle. The United Auto Workers Union voted in favor of a 4-year labor deal to end that walkout. A top official on the Trump administration's National Security Council says he was concerned at the president's call to the Ukrainian leader. Tonight, the president took to Twitter to try to discredit the witness. Here's Boris Sanchez with more.
Tonight, President Trump attempting to discredit the first current White House official to appear as a witness before the House impeachment inquiry. The president labeling Iraq war veteran and Purple Heart recipient Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman as a never-Trumper witness on Twitter as he was set to testify. Trump also claiming he doesn't know Vindman, one of the top Ukraine experts on his own National Security Council, writing, quote, "Why are people that I never even heard of testifying about the call?" While some Republican commentators questioned Vindman's patriotism because he was born in Ukraine and emigrated to the United States as a 3-year-old, others quickly dismissed that line of criticism.
I'm not going to question the patriotism of any of the people who are coming forward. I'm not going to comment on the merits of what's going forward.
We're talking about decorated veterans who have served this nation, who have put their lives on the line, and it is shameful to question their patriotism, their love of this nation, and we should not be involved in that process.
In a rare interview tonight, the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, tells Israeli TV that the Democrats are playing silly games when it comes to impeachment. Kushner also taking exception to comments from 2020 contender Joe Biden, who told 60 Minutes this weekend that having Trump family members in the administration is improper.
What's improper about that?
It's just simply improper because you should make it clear to the American public that everything you're doing is for them. For them.
He's entitled to his opinion, but a lot of the work that the president's had me doing over the last 3 years has actually been cleaning up the messes that Vice President Biden left behind.
Tonight, the president celebrating another blow to ISIS via Twitter, announcing the death of ISIS spokesman Abu Hassan al-Muhajir, who is seen as a possible replacement to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. But questions remain about Trump's claim of how the death of the ISIS leader went down.
He died after running into a dead-end tunnel, whimpering and crying and screaming all the way.
Top Pentagon officials say they were not aware of how the president knew those details, but would not publicly dispute his version, saying that perhaps he had spoken directly to teams on the ground. Officials with knowledge of the president's speech announcing al-Baghdadi's death say Trump's speech did not resemble the remarks prepared for him.
And that was Boris Sanchez reporting. Coming up after the break, Columbia raises awareness and funds in a walk for cancer.
Plus, the White House gets spooky just in time for the holiday. We'll explain on the other side of the break.